In this video, I am going to take 4-5 important functionalities or offerings of Langchain and try to explain you how Langchain works and how it makes your life easy to build LLM apps. Let's try to understand some basic building blocks of Langchain, and from here on we can build on top of that. Let's start without any delay. So what we are going to do is we are going to understand the basics of Langchain with some examples. Okay. So let's see in what context Langchain helps while working with large language models. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import some packages that will help me to play around with my OpenAI. Okay. So I'm just importing this load.env, and I'm going to import my OpenAI key, which is stored in my .env file. And if you don't have Langchain installed, then you can simply do like this: install Langchain, and you can start from the Langchain experimentation or learning. So basically, what is Langchain? To keep it very, very simple and straightforward, right? Langchain makes your life easy to work with large language models as an application developer. So the important thing here is as an application developer, not as a common person who is using the large language model or ChatGPT. No. If you are an application developer who is going to build some LLM application, right? LangChain helps you to build it quickly, fast, and orchestrate it easily. Okay. First concept that I'm going to discuss here is called chains. So chains was basically in the last version of LangChain. Basically, it has been depreciated, but now there is a concept of runnable in LangChain. What is that? Let's try to understand with a very simple example. So I'm going to import a model here. As you can see, I'm importing a model called Langchain Chat OpenAI model. Let me try to make it little large for you. Okay, so I'm importing a model here, Langchain Chat OpenAI model. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to chat with this model through Langchain. Okay, so in application development, I'm going to chat this model through Langchain. When I'm chatting with this model, right, I also want to do two things. I want to have my prompt dynamic, which means my prompt should take a variable and it should change based on that input. Second thing is whatever the output comes, that output should be parsed. So I'm talking about three things here. One, my prompt should be variable, which means it should take a variable and it should create the prompt. Second, call to model, because I want to pass this to the LLM. And third, parse the output. These are the three things I want to do. What LangChain allows you to do is it allows you to do all these things together through a concept of previously known as chains, now known as runnable. Okay. If you see here, from Langchain.output parser, I am taking str output parser for my third job, that is parsing output. From Langchain.prompt, I am taking chat prompt template. That is my first job, preparing the variable prompt. And if you see here, I am saying prompt pipe model pipe str output parser. So all these three things will happen one by one. So in my prompt, right, if you see, I am saying, tell me a joke about this topic. So this topic is my variable. Now I can call this chain with this topic as anything. For example, if I call this chain with a topic such as Donald Trump, for example, what will happen is my model will be called with tell me a joke about Donald Trump. Then the model will be called, then the output will be parsed. So let me show you that. If you say chain.invoke, right? Here, why did Donald Trump bring a ladder to the bar? Because he heard he drinks were on the house. So here, if I change this variable to something else, tell me one joke about cricket, right? It will tell a joke about cricket. So what is happening here is three things happening. First, your prompt is getting prepared dynamically. Second, your model is getting called. And third, the output is getting parsed. If I remove this part from the chain, right? And if I run the chain, you will see we have a long message here. Basically, everything that comes back from the LLM. But we want to parse that as well. So we are putting str output parser. So with this small example, what I'm trying to tell you is how Langchain makes your life easy while working with LLMs. That is the first job of Langchain. And this concept that you learned just now is called chaining. Chaining means one process after another, one process after another. Chat prompt template helps you to create chat dynamically. Str output parser helps you to parse the output, and model is model basically. Okay. This is a very first concept that you should know about Langchain. Now, I mentioned to you about Runnable. So, Runnable is basically a simple entity that runs in the Langchain. For example, here from Langchain code Runnables, you can import Runnable Lambda and you can simply call Runnable Lambda like this. So, Runnable, don't confuse every time you hear the word Runnable. Runnable meaning is very simple, something which can run. For example, here a Lambda function is running, okay? And we are running this in a batch. So, what does this Lambda function do? Whatever you give as input, it will just make a string out of it and give you as output. And we are calling a batch 789. So in a batch 789 string is being output. Every time you see a runnable, just think that it is a component which is capable of running. Okay, so you can understand runnable like this. Next thing that I want to explain you in the world of Langchain, there are many things in the Langchain basically, but mostly since we work with large language models, data, RAGs, etc. So some document loaders, Langchain makes it very easy for you to load the document. For example, there is a document on my desktop called Cricket. I'm giving the file path and I can simply load this document using PyPDF loader file path, pages in loader. So I'm taking PyPDF loader from Langchain community and I'm simply saying pages.append page. So these kind of things you need to do while working with language models, while working with RAG systems, while working with vector embeddings, things like that, right? So here what is happening is this Cricket document is getting uploaded. Okay, so what I'm saying, loader. So I'm creating a pages.append and then what we can do is this document will get loaded in these pages. We can see the first few content of my document. So for example, if I run this, right? So this is basically a cricket related document. So as you can see, cricket grew in many stick and ball. The word bat is an old English word, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm trying to say you is here you can load your HTML, your JSON, your Excel, your PDF. So many things you can load. So in terms of document loading, LangChain will make your life easy. Once you load the document, right, what you want to do with the document. I'm paying a lot of focus on this area and I want you to very, very carefully understanding how to work with documents, vectors, comparison, semantic search, storing, retrieving, right? So one concept in that world is basically text splitter. So when you want to upload your large document, right, you will want to split it. How do you split it? So I'm just going to show you a simple example how LangChain will split your document. For example, here there is a document called aman.txt, is a text file. What I'm saying to LangChain is I'm just importing a package called recursive character text splitter. What it will do is it will just split your document into chunk by chunk. So here I'm saying chunk size 10, chunk overlap 2. So 10 size it will break the document. Overlap can be of 2. And this is the text splitter you can use. And from this you can create documents. Once you create documents, what you are going to do, you are going to obviously store it somewhere in vector DB, right? So all these things will kind of bind up together if you see. So currently what we are doing, we are splitting the document. So let's do that and see how it works. My document is very straightforward. There is hello, my name is Aman. So it says page content, hello, this is Aman, like that. Okay, so one example of text splitter. Again, any kind of document you can upload there. Okay, and from here you can do embeddings, you can store in DB. So I'm going to show you one example of how do you store in DB. Okay, so let me say here store in ChromaDB. So ChromaDB is a vector database. I'm paying a lot of focus on vector DBs in Unfold Data Science. Please learn about this. It will help you a lot. Okay. So how do you store this document in vector DB? So LangChain gives you document loader, text loader, OpenAI embeddings. Obviously, you will want to embed it before loading, right? And then character text splitter that we have imported above. What we are doing, load the document, split it into chunks, and each chunks load into the vector store. First, I'm loading the document. Second, I'm splitting it. And second, I'm creating text splitter object. And third, I'm splitting it. Once I've splitted the document, what I can do is I can simply upload in a vector database. So I can import from Langchain, Chroma, import Chroma. Chroma from documents, document, and OpenAI embedding is embedding layer that will create the embeddings. Once you do this, the document, four things are happening here. This document is getting read, text splitting is happening, documents is getting created, the splitted documents, OpenAI embedding is running and document is getting uploaded in ChromaDB. Okay. What you can do now is you can simply run your semantic search. For example, if there is a query called welcome, it can go to my DB and it can search for these similar pages. So here it says, hello, this is Aman, welcome to UFDS. So this is the output it gives from that document. You can practice more on this, but I'm just saying you what are the different capabilities where Langchain will help you and that you should know actually. Okay. One more thing I want to share with you is known as memory and states. Okay. What is the meaning of memory and states? Let's try to understand. So when you work with large language models, right? And for example, if you invoke a model and say, hi, I am Bob, the response you are going to get is, hi, Bob, how can I assist you today? But if you ask to the model in general, in the next iteration, what is my name, right? Model will tell you, I'm sorry, I do not know your name. Okay. What is the meaning here? The meaning is memory is not working in normal LLM process, right? So normally memories and states are not working when you interact with LLM in a normal way. What we need to do is we need to enable the memory and state. So Langchain enables you to do that as well. How to do that? A simple example I'm going to show you that will help you to enable memory in your job as well. For example, here I'm saying import AI messages. Okay. And then model dot invoke human message is I am Bob. AI message is what is coming back from there. Hello Bob, how can I assist you? And then human message is what is my name. So what I'm doing, I'm importing uh, I'm storing all these things in a model.invoke. Everything I'm giving, if you see, first human message, then what is the AI message coming, and then what is the human message going. Then model is saying, your name is Bob, how can I help you? So last is what is my name? Model is saying, your name is Bob, how can I help you? So this is how system should work. But we can't be writing all these things together always, right? So how do you ensure this works? So basically there is a small concept of Lang graph. Now I will not overcomplicate Lang graph for you, but I just want to show you some basics of Lang graph. Okay. Lang graph is another component of Langchain basically. What Lang graph tells you is how should the flow of your application run. So just pay attention here. Langgraph.checkpoint memory import memory saver. So I'm importing a component called memory saver. From langgraph.graph start message state and state graph. So this is basically a graph where you say how my application should run and you also define where the message should get stored. Then you define a new graph. State graph, state schema is equal to message state. So message state is what you are storing in the schema. Okay. Then you are saying define the function that calls the model. So here call model message state. So whatever is the state of the message, from that you are invoking the model and you are returning the response. Then what you are doing is defining the node in the graph. Workflow add stage. In the start stage, you are adding the model. So you can think like it's a graph first starting with the model and then it's starting with the call model. So add edge and add node. So two things are happening here. Edge is something which is connecting two nodes. First node is model, then the node comes call model, then it goes to the memory saver. So whatever happens, right, it will get stored in the memory. Now let's run this. And one more thing we need to do here, we need to give a configuration here, thread ID basically. So if you see here, I'm saying config is equal to configurable, thread ID is equal to ABC123. So whatever thread ID you give, right, from that thread ID, this lang graph capability will remember what was spoken. So the same example as above, right? For example, here, if you can say same example as above, hi, I am Bob. Input message is human message query. Output message is invoked with this config. And then what is the output message here? If we want to see, so the user says config is not defined. So config I have not run actually. So let me run here config. So hi Bob, how can I assist you today? So this is the human message. Fine. Now what you are going to do is you are going to give one more query here and see if the model remembers that. So I'm saying I'm a data scientist. Okay. This is another query that I'm giving to the model. So knowingly I'm giving more information about me to the model. I want model to remember it. And then I'm going to ask to the model, what do I do? Okay. So if I say, what do I do? Then model should understand I am a data scientist, and model should respond like that, because here we are playing with memory, right? So I'm asking, what do I do? Now see what the model is responding. As a data scientist, your responsibility may include. So I have not told model these things, but it is playing little smart and it is getting information from the web, but it knows I am a data scientist. That is the core thing here. Okay. So through this Lang graph, I have told just two basic concepts. One is a basic definition of Lang graph. You will just start with the edge, you will start with a node, and simply you are saving in the memory saver. Okay. So it is able to remember what has been told. So these are some of the initial things you should know about Langchain, and you can go to Langchain documentation and read about the things. But again, if you try to learn everything in one shot, it will be overwhelming. So I just thought of give you some intro of how things work in Langchain, and we can take it from there. Okay, if you want me to create a detailed content on LangGraph and Langsmith also, I can do that. So please drop me a comment, guys, if you like the content. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the video. See you all in next video. Wherever you are, stay safe and take care.